When was the last time you saw God working clearly in your life?
I think, to be honest, here. It's been, 3 weeks now? And we're in our last week. And throughout the course of this training, I had to write the theme song for the school. And I just sat down and I prayed, God, please help me. I don't know how to write it. Every time I'm writing a song, it's a new process all over again. And it always feels the same way. And I pray to God for him to give me inspiration. And being here, I just sat down, I prayed, and it just felt like the words were flowing. And the melody just came. And the way it happened, really, I saw God's hand in it. And even the production in the studio with Sonica and the student group went so smoothly, and we were able to record things like first take, just all in one go. So I really saw God's hand leading this. Yeah.
When was the last time you saw God working clearly in your life?
The last time I saw God working in my life, I think has to be in him bringing me to this school and bringing me to see the fact that the Clash of Minds has is offering a School of Evangelism project or little course, and just answering the call there and then. Like as soon as I saw it, I was just like, okay, doing everything in my power and God's power that he can give me to get to this call so that I could start this relationship and start this strong, strict obedience with God, because I don't want to back down now. I want to keep on going forward. But that I've seen him working in my life, in me and my family's life, through our troubles and our trials. We've had a difficult time growing up, so I've seen him working there. The fact that he wakes me up every day, I acknowledge that that's him. I acknowledge that he's putting food on our on the table all the time. So he's always working. He's always working. I may not have a big wow story, but just the everyday simplicities of life, I give him thanks and praise for that.
How do you feel called to share the gospel where you are?
I feel called because back home in the UK, it's difficult to talk to people about spiritual things. It's becoming more and more difficult. So I feel that there must be other people who are feeling the same, that they want to talk about spiritual things, but they just can't find the right people. So yeah, I feel called to go out and find them and hopefully, tell them about the three angels' messages, and see who heeds the call.
Why do you think evangelism is important in our world today?
I think evangelism is especially important today because there's just so much more information out there. So it's that much more difficult to get any message across. So I feel being someone's guide through the hardest questions in life is really the best we can do. I think just spending time with someone and letting them see how you live your life and see your community and see if it fits them, see if it fits into their life.
What are some challenges you face when witnessing to others?
My biggest fear and biggest challenge is thinking, I'm not the right person to be talking to this person. I think there is the right person that can say the right things to get the message across. And so, sometimes I feel, I don't feel right, but it's always good to try. And if you've got a big enough network of evangelists, you can point them at the right person.
When was the last time you saw God working clearly in your life?
Okay, so the last time I saw God working clearly in my life was actually coming here. When I was booking my tickets and basically everything was booked. I just knew that I still need my visa to come here. And as I was looking when I can drive to Vienna to get my visa, I checked one more time on the official webpage, And on the official site, it was written that since yesterday, so since a day before, I don't need a visa anymore. And for me, this was kind of like a hurt prayer, because I was wrestling with God. Lord, why do I need a visa for only 1 month? And God showed me that I made it possible for you to go to Africa even without visa. And I know that's a really small thing, but for me it was a clear sign from God that He's approving of this and that He wants me here. And now when we're in the last week, I can really understand why He wanted me to be here. What inspired you to come to the School of Evangelism?
So I heard about the School of Evangelism from friends and different people at church. And I've always wanted to go to a mission school in my gap year after high school. And I heard about a lot of different mission schools that were like a year long. And I was thinking I want a shorter program. So when I found out that Clash of Minds was only a month, I was like, wow, this is actually perfect. And I just wanted to learn more about evangelism, about be fortified in my faith so I can evangelize to others. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mark, what is one area in your spiritual life that you want to strengthen?
Thank you for asking. I dedicate a couple of hours per day to increase my Bible knowledge in order to be able to explain and dissect Bible texts easier, and also to explain to others, or I should say answering life-challenging questions to others by using the Bible.
When was the last time you saw God working clearly in your life?
You know, in times past, I would have to think very hard. But in these latter days, I can say I see Him working in my life all the time. But to be more specific, you know, on my trip over to South Africa to come to the Clash of Minds evangelistic training, I experienced His presence and working at the airport. And also, within these first couple of days that I was at Clash of Minds, I saw Him working through my body and healing my body from an ailment that I had prior to coming.
What is one area in your spiritual life that you want to strengthen?
I guess socializing, because I get a lot of socializing anxiety. So being able to speak to more people, bigger groups of people, I would like to improve on that.
I would definitely like to strengthen my faith in the aspect of, like, if God calls me somewhere, I want to just be able to go without asking questions and constantly just like bugging Him about whatever, I guess you could say.
How do you feel called to share the gospel where you are?
I think a very important part of evangelism is to identify each of us, to identify our own talents and to really take the biggest talents that God gave us and to cultivate those and use those. For me personally, it's mainly music. So since I'm back in faith, God gave me back my love for music. And when I surrendered my heart to Him, song after song started flowing out of nowhere, and I didn't know what was going on. And as I surrendered these things to Him, and as I decided to dedicate my music to God fully, He's been blessing it. He's been opening doors, and He's been working through the songs. And I think it's very, very important to identify your main talents and just cultivate them and consecrate them to God. And He can do amazing things through that. And it's so amazing how God makes us partakers of this joy, to work together, to be co-laborers with Him for salvation. Yeah.
How would you describe your relationship with Jesus right now?
Well, my spiritual life has always been a little bit of a roller coaster, I have to say. But especially being here, I have felt like I'm drawing closer to Christ, and, you know, meeting new people and hearing about other people's experiences. It's really been very helpful for me.
My name's Thane. I'm from the UK. And I heard about the Clash of Minds School of Evangelism from the Clash of Minds channel itself. because they made a video with the testimonials of students that attended that year's class, and I thought, wow, it's something completely new, and I really love the ministry. So I thought, well, what better place to learn from Clash of Minds.
I think the best way to describe evangelism is through three angels' messages, which we have in Revelation 14. And I think evangelism is crucial for our days because we are living in the last days and we're looking forward to Jesus' second coming. And that's why if we can learn more about it, it's a big, big privilege and blessing.
To me, evangelism means to spread the good news, to spread the good news about Jesus coming again. He's coming again for us. He's gone to prepare a place for us. He's got a mansion prepared for us, He's come to die for us for remission of our sins, to take away our sins from us, to show that his governance is better than the governance of the world that we're living in today. So evangelizing is spreading that news, spreading the gospel commission that he has commissioned us to do, basically. That's evangelism to me.
When I look at where God has taken me from, I used to be nothing but audio visual, wanted to be a fly on the wall. But the Lord has moved me from being that behind the scenes guy to being up front, from starting to do Bible studies online via Zoom right after COVID, moving into the country at a little country church where I was trying to be the fly on the wall, but then things transpired. I got into prison ministry. Then from prison ministry, I got into being a lay pastor at a church, and he's just continuing to expand his territory upon me. So I see, as I look around in my hometown, I realize that there's no other person proclaiming the last warning, the three angels' message. And therefore, he is continuing to equip me in preparing others and for myself to be ready for his soon return.
Where I am right now, there's not many people, but mission, the global missionary, anything like that, going around the world and sharing the gospel. Yeah.
I definitely feel called that there's a little bit still left to do at my home church, but for the most part, I've especially recently really felt God calling me to foreign missions.
I think in 2 Peter 3:12 it says that we are not just to look for Christ's return, but also hasten it. So we have an active role to play as the last generation in hastening Christ's second coming. And it's a very essential part of this great controversy, this proactive role that we as the last generation have. So yeah, it's very, very important in the times we live in.
I feel called to share the gospel to the youth, because growing up I felt a bit of a disconnection between the youth and the adults in the church. So I wanted to I feel passionate about closing that gap in the church. I also feel called to spread the truth and the straight truth so that we can get a bit of shaking. But spread the straight truth to the world and bring people into the church, and whether that's through health and prophecy, that's what I would like to do, because those are the two kind of tools, or that was Jesus's technique, basically. He used prophecy and he went around healing people. He went around healing people and then he got in like, come to me, fishers of men. Yeah. Evangelism is important because Jesus is coming soon. Straight down. Jesus is coming soon. We're in the last days. These are the end days, the end times. We've seen through prophecy, through study, as we've been here, that we are in the 10 toes, and that right after that, the rock gets cut out and then everything comes crumbling down. And it will be a shame to see, eventually it will happen, but it will be, if whenever we have a chance, evangelize and try and bring that person to God and try and show them the truth. Because it's a nice thing to do and you don't want to see people die, but yeah, I think it's very important for today.
Why do you think evangelism is important in the world today?
I guess because we're heading to the end times. I believe that God is going to come soon. So go out and save as many people as we can.
I just believe it's our duty as Christians. That's just what God calls us to do. That's just something I feel that God really wants us doing.
How can we depend on the Holy Spirit in our efforts to reach people?
Well, definitely through prayer. I know someone at the school, he had his relatives pray for him for decades, and he finally came to the faith. So I guess, yeah, they depended on the Holy Spirit to touch his life, to turn him to the truth.
So I think evangelism is important because we get to hasten Lord's return. This is written in 2 Peter 3:12. And by sharing good news of salvation, by sharing Jesus with people, we can help in this work that we are actually supposed to be doing, each and every one of us. And not only do we help to spread the gospel, but we're working in cooperation with angels. And I think this is what truly matters in this time.